Hi there, folks, and welcome to another episode of Michael's Backyard Marina. Haven't said those words in over 100 days. We're going to shrink wrap some boats. And honestly, I've never done it before in my life. I've watched some videos. I've bought some tools and some things and stuff. I'm going to give it a try. As you guys know, we'll walk outside. Tarp or covers just don't last very long. Actually, I have a feeling this blue wrap will last as long as any cover. May even last a little longer because it doesn't get loose and weight on it and then gets soft and saggy and then puddles gather and then wind whips it and tears corners. You know, stuff like that. We'll get you in here tight. Tight. See how tight I can get you with this camera. I want to get you in close enough so you can kind of see what I got going on here. Now, I've pre-measured a couple of boards for the first boat I'm going to do. I've got one of these at 36 inches and I got one at 48 inches because there's a deck and then there's a lower part and I want the top to be similar. So basically we're creating a frame structure out of wood and some of this other stuff I've got over here. Where is it at? I bought a lot of this stuff last year. Never used it. Got some vents that you stick on the cover after you get the cover on there to keep it from, this is from Dr. Shrink is the brand. Have a handful of those. I probably need more. Got this, I don't know what you want to call it. It's a woven type of material designed just for this type of application. I've got a whole roll of that. Back over here, way behind the mayonnaise, I've got this blue roll hanging up. And that's heat shrink material. I watched several videos, gathered up the tools and whatnot, but let's go ahead and put this together. Now I pre-drilled a couple of holes here just because when I tried to put the first one together, it split. As long as I drill these holes, there won't be any splittage, per se. There again, I drill these holes. They're just barely, they're just hold the screw a little bit, but not by a whole lot. And then what we're going to do here is I'm going to take and thread this thing in like this. I say thread, I'm going to screw it together. And here again, I'm just trying to make a base. I'm trying to dream up a good way to make some bases pretty economically. Now, at my local hardware, big box store, premium studs, I thought during the 2020 they got expensive. It's like these are right back where they were for expenditures. Now, I drilled 2 more holes here and here on these blocks. And I'll show you why in just 2 seconds here. And this is all just 2x4. Now, somebody might go, how long are those? How, you know, it's just, you know, around 9 inches. 9 1/4. 9 1/4. 9 inches flat. You know, somewhere thereabouts is what it is. The reason I did these holes is I'm going to put 2 screws in through here now. And there's plenty of ways to do this. And I always have a stock of 3 or 3.5 inch screws. I'm just going to push this up tight against here. And if these, for some reason, don't work, I was trying to create as small of a contact area as possible instead of having a big flat piece of plywood on the bottom of the boat. Just something, you know, if you're fortunate enough to have, you know, one of them really nice boats that has a really nice cover that snaps down, you're already good. You don't have to do anything like I'm doing. You can still shrink your boat. Around the corner here. I showed you the vents. These, I don't. Look at this. Would you just look at it? I think these are designed to do. And I want to just take out a little bit here. And I don't even want to cut anything yet because there's a lot of feet here. I don't know how many feet I got, but hopefully enough to do several boats. And the reason I'm doing this is they charge. You can have boats wrapped. I think this is supposed to be able to do something like this, maybe. I don't know. Come back on itself somehow. If you were to pull that, and it had some tension on it down, you know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'll be back. I'll watch some videos and I'll let you know. But anyway, that's, there again, another piece of the puzzle. And the biggest, most fanciest piece is right inside this here container. I did not buy this last year. I bought it this year. My plan was to use a big weed burner I've got that's like, and I've seen people do it, but you just don't have the type of control I'd really like to have. So this comes with a little regulator, a little dial, and it's got this. What is this? It's gonna make me read some constructions. Oh man, 'cause I think this hooks on. They come with screws. It's almost like this goes together on each side. And this creates like a place where you can't get too close. Let's see what else we got in this here box already. We got a healthy length of hose here. This is SF Tools. Shrink Fast is now SF Tools. So this used to be called Shrink Fast. Now this looks like this would screw onto here. Yep. Nice. And if you see a fitting like this that has the little hash marks on it, that means it's a left-hand thread. So you'll have to turn it counterclockwise to tighten it. Lefty tighty, righty loosey in that case. Comes with a wrench that fits both pieces, so let's spin around here just for fun. I'm gonna de-snip this thing here. You can always retie it later. Try not to cut your hose when you're doing that. All right. So this end goes right here. There again, lefty tighty. Oh, this has a self-igniter, I believe, too, which is awesome. Sorry, awesome. So we'll take that and give that a good snugging there. Not getting crazy, but this wrench that came with it also fits this other end. So it's everything you need except for the propane tank. Let's see if I can get you guys spun around here. Oh. Get rid of some twisties here. One more. Can you see down here? Can you see me down here? I think you can. This is off. You can get this off my smoker or my grill. Right now my smoker does not have a tank on it. My grill does. We're going to go ahead and that tight. Oops, wrong thing. That tight. Well, we got pressure. We got pressure. Now, what do we have here? Wow. Seems very aggressive. Wow. That's cool. I presume that this is already pre-adjusted. That'll work pretty slick. Now I can see why that guard is there to keep you from getting, you know, you can get close. Let's, I'm going to break the guy code here. We're going to look at a couple of things. Just seems like this ought to have screws, but I'm not seeing any screws. All right. To open the flow, propane, turn the propane tank hand wheel in a counterclockwise motion and watch the regular gauge increase to 22 to 27 psi. I'm not sure what I had here, but it bears reason to look. 22 to 27. I think that was there. It's right at 27 right there. Okay, it drops down to 23. So that's intimidating, I tell you what. Woo-hoo-hoo. Daddy likes. All right. Show anything on the gun. I want to see the gun. What's about the gun? The gun side. I want to see the gun. Where's the gun stuff? Gun? No gun stuff. For shrink wrapping a pallet, 4mm shrink wrap bab is typically used for loads of 1,000 pounds. Wow. Never thought about shrink wrapping a pallet. That's cool. I like the whole container when I'm not using it. Dr. Shrink goes back in the Shrinkazoid container. This definitely looks like something that would go on either side. Those holes definitely line up with that, but yeah, they kind of fan out. That's gotta be what it's for. It'd be cool if it had some little sheet metal screws that came with it. There they be. Yep, just what I thought. So you can disassemble it and put it away, but when you're using it, which is what we'll be doing, all the hardware's right here. Sweet. We'll leave the baggie in here. And let's see if there's any other. Nope, yep, nope, sure, more things. Got it memorized. Got it memorized. This is too cool. Now I see how these go together. These will do a little number like that. This will go in there like that. And I got my handy dandy Phillips screwdriver right there handy. You know, when they say to stay a certain amount of inches away, this is going to help you do that. Got that one started. Turn it over. This is exciting, guys. Now, the link for this will be in the description down below. And I'm going to let you know before you look. It's going to be rather expensive, but I think I'm worth it. Yeah, that just kind of... That fits together nice. Got a little tension on it. Oh, yeah. But you can reason anything out if you think about it for just a little too long. Because I thought, you know, let's just say this was $600. Well, that's going to give me... I got 14 boats I could do with this right now. And at $20 a foot is what I guess they typically charge for doing this type of thing. What was that noise? Oh, my TV just turned on. That's weird. Sometimes my TV just turns on automatically. Only when I'm out here. So something's... Oh, the red light's still on, so it wasn't that. Every now and then it'll just turn on. Freaks you right out. Look at that. That's actually a well-made little deal. But look at that. Nice little... Can't get too close. You can bump things and, you know... Wah! All right. But, there again, like I said, say it was $600. Hope the boss doesn't watch this one. Oh. Divided by 20 boats. No, 14 boats. So we'll take 600 divided by 14. So I'm glad to do that. That's $42 a boat. Let's just call it $50 a boat is what it costs to do this the first go round. And every boat I do after that, it gets, you see where I'm going? It gets cheaper. Now, Merc and Faye are inside. Okay, the boss just let me know the dogs were back inside, safe and sound. But I was going to use the weed burner, and I watched that you don't have the heat control. Well, this thing will fan out a heat fan. It's designed to disperse it as you look down in there. And you can actually work a nice area here. And it's really lightweight. I'm excited to use this. Oh, you know, if your hose is supported, just like that, it can sit on the ground just like that and keep your tools out of the dirt. Nice. They thought of everything. But then I can put it right back in the case when I'm done. So I'm just kind of getting myself, my mindset, a couple things set, how I'm going to approach this. My goal is to see how many boats I can wrap tomorrow. And these are all mine, so I'm not getting paid to do any of these boats. I'll see how far this roll, I bought this big roll last year of heat shrink. I think it was off Amazon, but you can get it in blue or white. This is heavy duty stuff. It makes a nice hard plastic shell on the top of it. You'll see if you go to the boat stores, the big boat stores, distributors, they come delivered with this shrink wrap on these boats. Nice things that fit so tight around it that, you know, rodents can't get in unless they dig a hole through it. The nice thing too, if you burn a hole through it, I bought this tape. This tape is designed, it's from Dr. Shrink as well. It's designed if you have a hole, you can go, and this stuff will stick to it and won't come off, and it'll patch any holes you end up getting in it. So that's all the tools. I'm going to go in and study up on these little zinky dink things and see what I can come up with here. And typically, I think this stuff is strong enough that if I was to, for instance, use this cinch on here to go around the boat, for one, and I got some over-the-boat stuff. If you use these, I have a feeling this stuff feels like it's going to be very reusable year over year. So you buy this once, buy once, cry once. Same with these clips. You can reuse them. My goal here is to be able to wrap my boats, not buy boat covers ever again, except for the boats I'm using in the summertime. And if I only use the boat cover through the summer, it's going to last longer because it's not out there in the winter with snow, freeze, cold, and still exposed to, you know, the solar stuff, things that the sun cooks. I am drawing a blank on that word right now. The gamma rays? Nope, that's the Incredible Hulk. Solar array? Probably not. Rainbows? Product of the sun and rain, but not what I'm thinking of. Solar ice caps? Solar flares. I'm stuck on solar. UV. Ultraviolet light. That's it. Okay. Well, we'll be back tomorrow morning. And as soon as the sun comes up, we're going to be out there with the camera and the whole camera crew and the editing committee and the staffing, the gaffers, the light crew, and everything else that helps support these videos. I just thought about all that. It's just me. You guys just get me. Me and my dogs and the boss checking up on me to see if I'm still alive and kicking. Yep, that's what we're doing. All right. Love y'all. Be back in a little bit with the Shrink Fast FS Tool 200. Yeah, manufactured year 2025. Yeah, I just bought this year, so. We got a full tank of LP. And this thing, I don't think it's going to use that much LP. And the other thing I like about the shrink stuff, too, is when you heat it up and you slap it against this, it glues to itself. So when you put this around your boat and you wrap it around and tuck it under, it makes a nice, clean, neat-looking situation. And then when I have all my boats lined up in the parking lot, they're all going to be blue covered. And it's going to look fancy, like Applebee's on a date night. Yeah. All right. Till the sun comes up in the morning, I'm going to take some more measurements out there and make me some more of these stands. Preserve it. I did learn a little bit. I watched a video. There's one video I found that showed how to use these little clips. I'll see if I can. So from what I can see so far, if you put this tag on top and you stick this up through the loop and then slide that little loop around, it's pretty simple. Let's see here. Yeah. So you get it like that. So the tag's on top and that's coming around just that little loop right there. Pretty straightforward. And when you pull this tight, or when you pull on this, let me see if I can get this in the shot here. Because you'll have another one going this way. When you pull on it, it will slip this way, but it will not slip backwards. Now, what I think I like, now this is just me, I'm not an expert at wrapping boats, and there's probably people that are experts, and you see them whip up these little knots, and they're like, cinch, cinch, cinch. That's fantastic. My goal is, since I'm not in the habit of throwing stuff away, my goal is to use these clips with this ribbon, this strap stuff, and hopefully I can disassemble. The plastic you're obviously going to cut off of it, but then you can salvage. Maybe you can salvage this stuff and reuse as long as you use these clips and not having to undo knots. And let's go outside and look at some of my current boat cover. On the first boat we're going to try to do this on. I'm starting off on a small boat, and I'll probably go grab my biggest boat next. We got Miss Lucy Lou out here. Hi, Lucy. She's checking out the cat situation. So the bad part about, I shouldn't say these covers, like this cover fits on here pretty good, but eventually it gets a sag if you don't have enough support in it. This one did the same thing. I tried to use my boat seats standing up, and it had a puddle there. But overall, you know, here again, this cover's starting to get a few cuts in it. Starting to see some wear and tear. This would probably be okay. Yeah, this would probably be okay to use as a summer cover for when I'm, between fishing trips to keep animals and debris out of the boat. We're going to do the OG. This is the 1976 Starcraft. We'll do that one today. I got to do some testing on a trolling motor with some batteries. Well, let's just walk out here and we'll just take a quick look off the hillside here in the boat parking lot. Some people might say boat graveyard, but these aren't all dead yet. And they're all going to be breathed back to life, as it were. So here we got an old, I think this is a 68 or 69 Starcraft. We got a 70s Rinker built. Might be I don't remember. I have to go look up the stuff on it. We got a 4 Winds. But see how the boats, all the covers are all, that one's ripped and torn, that one's sagging, that one's sagging. Had some good supports in it. They wind, we get some 20, 30, 40, 70 mile an hour winds, and it just wreaks havoc on things. Here's the old dent side. Forget what this was. This has got the 90 horse Merc on it. We want to get that one on the water again. Here's the 1967 Starcraft, 22 foot. cuddy cabin. The tarp has ripped recently and is now in that condition. I need to get that resealed up. We got a 1973 Cobalt with the inline 6. Beautiful boat. We need to get that pulled up and shrunk wrapped and taken care of for the winter. And then we got the old 1993, this is probably my newest boat, 1993 Tracker. Now this cover I've had on here is supported pretty well. There again, it took extra effort to create supports to support it decent enough. I think I got it mostly supported with seats, but there again, a little pocket right there where animals crawling in and out of, and it irritates the living snot of me when the animals get in there, especially these kind of little animals, and they have their kittens in them, and they make it smell a little bit. Don't like that at all. But so this is the fleet. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boats to get covered today. There are some boats in the back 40. There's 3 more back there. And I might pull those up and throw some covers on them too. I'll probably take a leaf blower, blow them out, get them covered. But I just wanted to show you the conditions that things can be in. And you try your best, and it still does things. I've already taken all the straps off here. Now, one thing I will do with these boats, because we do live where it gets sub-zero climate, and not necessarily the gas tank is going to be a problem, but I really don't want to run the old thing around with the gas tank in there. So I'm going to pull gas tanks out, put them on a shelf, mark them for what boat they go in, and also I'm going to pull my lithium batteries out, because I want them to not freeze over the winter, and I can keep them in the house and maintain them there, or in the shop, or wherever I decide to maintain them. So this stayed pretty clean. I'd like to vacuum it out, but not necessary. We're in a crunch time. I probably should have done a lot of this yesterday. But, you know, because my weekends are kind of precious, and try to get as much done on the weekends, and the days are shorter, so you only have about 10 hours a day of good filming light, so everything's just compacted. All right, folks, I've been really struggling with this, and I think I finally got something figured out. Right now, we've got these up here, tied in nice and tight. Listen here. When you can strum it, you've got it pretty tight. And down here, taking a closer look at these guys, I found out that if you do have to cut a couple short pieces, I tie a knot around the frame here. That's going to be a sacrificial piece. But then the one that goes over the top, like this, could be one long one from side to side that I can possibly reuse. You know, I'll save all my chunks over the years as I continue to do this, but you want to have this go this way and this go this way. I can actually, you know, I can put some serious pressure on that. I've got the body band around here. So that's going all the way around. I took advantage of, you know, my old clips here to kind of help hold this here so I can tuck in here. Is the plan. I can tuck under here. I can tuck around behind here. I can tuck in. I can tuck all these folds around, you know, around the body of the boat. So, whoops, sorry. I'm trying to walk with this thing extended here. But there you have it. We've got it this far. We got ourselves a nice little framework. I'm a little concerned about this area here. Possibly, you know, this doing some damage to the plastic. Now, I cut my first piece of plastic. I'm probably not going to be happy with what I did. It's a 14-foot boat. I cut it 18 foot long. It's actually probably closer to 20 feet. Actually, I'm going to lay it out here and measure it just so I know, so I can kind of get a proportion of how long I should cut it for each boat, you know, to kind of minimize some waste, get the most bang for my buck, as it were. Because it's got to be able to hang over the nose and down the back. And I'm a little scared that I might have cut this one a little too short. All right, there it is, folks. It is kind of a trick to learn how to get just enough heat, not too much heat. This was on the outside of the roll, so it had a couple pinholes in it. When it finally got heated up, it opened up a little bit, but that's what you buy that vinyl tape for. But you can hear it pretty drummy, which is good. Over here, I had a big old thin spot that I created and a hole, so I put tape over that, which is nice and strong. Then we put our vent right here. This vent, you take this little cover off here, and then you cut a hole, stick this down, cut the hole, and then snap this back on. This is gonna work just like a vent on your house. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think that'll keep it, and there's plenty of air that can still sneak up through here on the back and near the front where the air can come in and go out and, you know, let the moisture escape is the plan. But this one's done. We're gonna go get the king wrench. And not that this boat needs a king wrench to move it. But we're gonna attack, this is basically my smallest boat. And from the distance, it looks kind of professional to a certain degree, unless you look, you know, in there and around here and down the side and around the back. Otherwise, it looks, what I'm saying is right here. Oh, there's a thin hole right there I just saw. And this vinyl tape is every bit as strong and as thick as this stuff is. So it should do a good job of keeping that hole patched up. I also use it around the back to put some strips around underneath to kind of block it so the cats can't get up in there, or possibly any other climbing rodents that's trying to nuzzle its way in there. But the way this shrunk around the prop on the trolling motor and around different things, I'm not unhappy with it. There again, I expected a few holes on the first one, mainly because it was on the outside of the roll. And there was a hole at the back, and there's a hole, and another little hole. It could be, you know, as it's just what it is. The next part of the section, I should get rid of all. I've got it hanging up when I pull off the next section. And I did cut 19 feet, almost 20. We'll call it 19 for sure. That just did this 14-foot boat, so an extra 5 feet. Now this here was kind of high here. Nothing's going to stick to this. This is going to go whoop. And it's kind of crazy. Once it's not hot, it's back down to room temperature. It's in good shape. My goal is to see how long this will last once I get on a few boats. I'm trying to put this on all the boats, and then I'm only going to unwrap the boats I'm going to use, or uncover, get running, and sell. Yes, you guys heard it here first. I'm going to sell about half my fleet of boats. I'm keeping the banana. There's a price tag for everything. Let's just say that. You know, if somebody was to offer me, and this ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, but if somebody offered me $5,000 for the banana as it sits with 2 LiPo batteries and the trolling motor and the 35 horse and the seats that are in it, if somebody was to give me $5,000, I got the title, registration, and paper in hand. If they wanted to get this, give me $5,000. Not negotiable. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But this is an awesome boat. It's the first boat I've fully restored. The interior is, you know, as far as the stringers, the foam, it's perfect. And it's a sturdy little boat. I've also wanted to restore another one just like it, if I could find one, that is identical hull in green, avocado green. Why? I don't know. The sickness, I guess. But, you know, $5,000 would take this boat. And as I shrink these boats and get this video done, I will put a price tag on every boat that I have. Even the OG. The OG that's right here. This is the one I bought in 2017. There's been a lot of documentation on this boat. This is a 1976 Starcraft. And I will let it go with all the electronics that are in the boat. You know, it has a 10-inch with the, you know, side sonar. It's with the Altera. There again, this boat has a brand new stern drive engineering outdrive on it. It has a brand new trim pump. The old hull is there, but this has a total of around $15,000 total investment in this boat. And I've used it for about 6 years now. But yeah, stern drive engineering outdrive. Did I put an outdrive on it? I did, didn't I? Oh yeah. It's got the SC106 brand new outdrive on it. Cooling tower, 9.9 Johnson kicker motor on it. I mean, nobody's going to buy it for the price I want for it. There's at least, with everything I've done to it over the years, there's $15,000 in total investment in this boat. It's ridiculous. I get it. It's totally ridiculous to put that much in a boat. But it's a very fun, comfortable fishing boat with 124 Import Outboard. This one can be had for $8,500. Cash and carry. You hook onto it, you take it. Cash and carry, $850. No, $8,500. So I'm just putting, when this video comes out, I don't expect any of my boats to sell because of this video, honestly. I plan on putting them on Marketplace in the spring. Obviously, this one won't be listed. The banana won't be listed. My big blue one won't be listed, and my tracker won't be listed. Or the Alumacraft with the 90 horsepower power will not be listed. Everything else, I'm going to do my best to get running, going, floating. Everything has paperwork and documentation that I own it. And we'll send them down the road piece by piece. Mainly because I want to reduce the fleet. Managing this many boats can be taxing. And they could go down the road to a new home with somebody else. I've salvaged motors and stuff like that. I've got 6-horse inline 6s. I got inline 4s that I've got stored away for boats that I want to keep, which are these boats. But it wouldn't stop me from finding another boat, that's for sure. And this boat's kind of big. and it's usually me and just one other person, typically, maybe 3 total. This boat, honestly, is kind of big for that. Kind of right size for that. The banana is perfect for 2 or 1 person. I love the banana boat. Love the way it drives. Love fishing out of it. Love the bimini. I mean, all right. Well, let's drag Big Blue up here because we're going to get the big one done. We're losing daylight fast. And anyway, I thought I'd share the everything has a price type situation. And it's not that I have to sell any of this. None of it has to be sold. I'm not pressured to sell. There's no financial reasons for me to sell other than I can't use them all. I will use a few, and I've got other projects I want to do. I got a 55 Dodge pickup I'd like to put some money in that I'd never possibly recover. Yep, sounds like a good idea. All right, let's pull this one out of the way and get the next one in and get started.